Hello and welcome to the final episode of Leaguecast Fixes Champions, our ZED Talks series. Joining me for the final episode is Nick the King Cooper.
What is good?
Yeah, so we'll keep doing our Patreon content after this. It's just that our series of going through every character alphabetically and then recapping will be finished with this episode. At the end of each year, we'll go and recap the last couple characters that were released in the year. For this episode, we're going to be going over Viego, Gwen, Akshan, and Vex, because those were the 4 characters released in 2021, and we'll do the same at the end of 2022, and we'll talk about those characters. So
let's do it.
Yeah, let's.
Do you believe we're already at the end? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, actually. Like, it was 2 years of content just done immediately.
Yeah, it felt very quick.
It goes by quick. But anyways, I guess should we just quickly talk about Rell? Because like she was like at the end of December. I feel like she's also not that interesting to talk about. I'm interested in talking about the other 4 like way more.
Yeah, we can do a quick one. I actually think Rell is an extremely well designed champion. I think on release she felt extremely clunky, just because her mechanics sort of were. I feel like a lot of characters didn't know you could like queue up a lot of things. Yeah. Like you can, queue your ultimate to cast during your jump, things like that. To where she actually feels like an incredibly well designed support champion. So I think she's good. I probably wouldn't change anything about her. Maybe like up her damage just a tiny bit because it seems a little bit low. But that's again a numbers thing, not really a kit thing. Yeah.
The only thing I really want to talk about Rell was the fact that I think she very much suffers from the fact that fluidity in characters makes characters way more enjoyable. And I would say she's the most rigid character released in probably the last 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, I really think that is primarily resulting from the like lack of movement speed the movement speed penalty that you get when you're unmounted.
Yeah.
It feels really, really bad to get stuck unmounted. So yeah, maybe making the duration that your W cooldown scale with level. Last I checked, it was a linear amount. So making that scale with level would be really nice, or maybe making it scale with like tenacity. So, I don't know, some tank support stat, so that way you can kind of mount and dismount a little bit faster and more frequently.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels like her design is exactly what they intended. It's just what they intended, in my opinion, makes it feel very clunky in the realm of what characters are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you compare her to a character like Yone, for instance.
Yeah.
Who feels like incredibly smooth, like very, very fluid, like you were saying. And yeah, she definitely feels clunky.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I don't think it's like once again, the design is fine. It's just I'm not sure how it feels for like League of Legends is like the biggest thing.
But, I don't know. To me, she feels like this massive like combo support, like combo tank engage support. And then when you're out of your combo, which is like unmounted, W, it just feels like, oh, okay. Well, I just have to stand here now and wait for this ability to come back up before I can be a character again.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like once again, my only play of her is like playing her on ARAMs, like when she comes available, sort of thing. But she just feels like once you do your jump in, it's like, okay, cool. I'm just a fucking slug for however long.
I do think like jumping in using your abilities like actually feels really good, and they combo well with one another. Like I was saying earlier, they're extremely impactful. There is not much of a better feeling than hitting like a 5-man W crash down into like stun into ulti, something like that feels super good. But then at the end, like let's assume they survive, you're just standing there. You're just not really doing anything.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't think they designed her poorly. I just think she feels like a completely different character, and that different, like, I bet her play rate's always going to be low because of how she feels. Like characters like Yasuo, Yone have high play rates because they feel just good to play, right? Regardless of the power level. So even if she's a strong character, she's going to have a low play rate based on just her design, I think. But yeah, that's just like a quick little one. She was actually from 2020, so we're cheating a little bit. But let's talk about our first actual 2021 character, the beginning of the Ruination event with Viego.
I think Viego is one of the most well-designed characters in League of Legends.
I completely agree.
I like numbers aside, like balance aside. That's not what we're here to talk about. Like actually playing him and like doing the things that Viego is supposed to do feels absolutely incredible. It feels so good. There's like it's so smooth between using all of your abilities, interweaving autos. The cooldowns are like just long enough that they feel short, but the Q is like a 2 or 3 second cooldown, which is a bit long for a Sheen user. And then like switching into other characters, I like balance wise, they probably shouldn't reset cooldowns entirely. But from Viego's perspective, like it feels really good to possess someone and then immediately be able to cast abilities and things like that.
Yeah, it's like, there's definitely issues with how it works in a game. Like you're an AD character and your team can be full AD as long as you fucking kill an AP character. You have magic damage on your team.
Yeah.
And there's issues with that, and like full damage rotation. You do use your full damage rotation, kill someone, then you get their full damage rotation to kill someone, and yada yada yada. That being said, God, he feels fucking so cool to play, and he also just fits his like character design and like actual like story, and it's so fucking sick. I'm also a little bit biased now that I'm like almost done Ruined King.
Oh, okay. I think you're passing me, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't been playing much recently.
Like 80% through it, I think. But God, that character's so fucking cool, dude. He's just actually like, I don't know. It's one of their best designs. I don't know if the Ruination event itself was done that well overall. But I do like the idea of releasing a bunch of characters interwoven in an event. I think that's a really cool design. I hope.
Yeah, I think so too. That's really cool.
Yeah. Is there anything else I guess about Viego? I feel like he's pretty basic. Like his Q is very basic, his W is very basic, his E is very basic. His E, I guess, like is boring, but it's also you need some lower power budget abilities when your ultimate changes you undo people.
But it actually has like so much power. Like while you're in it, you know that just the threat of okay, Viego could be anywhere in this mist.
Yeah.
And then you also get a huge steroid like for attack speed.
I guess like, it has a lot of power budget. Maybe just his W is like low power budget relatively. But
yeah, I think it feels kind of low power, but yeah, I think the E actually has a lot of strength.
Yeah, he's a really interesting character. He's definitely one of the coolest designs. I don't know who designed. Do you know who designed him?
I don't. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd probably say like Riot August.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. Let me check. It very much feels like a Riot August.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, August.
Okay. it feels like a. Oh God, who was the writer that people hated?
Light,
man.
or do you mean Light or no?
No,
like
no. The designer that people hated because of his like designs, but I don't think he works at Riot anymore. I think like Darius, Zed, like Yasuo, I think.
Oh yeah, let's look at Yasuo developer. That's actually a cool idea. Like for like a game is like I give you guys a character, and you have to tell me what character. What does another character designed by the same designer?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best way to do it. Not like name the designer.
Yeah. Certainly T, that's who it was.
Certainly T. He feels like a Certainly T character in that changes the way the game is played entirely. Like for this one character, probably feels a little bad. Like, yeah, I can agree with that. But for the person playing Viego, it's an experience unlike any other character in League.
Yeah. It's fucking cool. Viego's like honestly a really great design.
Agreed.
But next is Gwen, who everyone kind of expected to be Isolde, or I can't remember how to pronounce her name. It was said a bunch in the Ruined King game.
I think like just Isolde.
Yeah, it's something like that. I remember I always thought it was Isolade, but then it definitely isn't that when they were talking about her in the game. But I think Gwen's like fucking fantastic. I think Gwen's one of my favorite characters last year. The only issue I have with her is that she definitely has the Disney face syndrome that every female character now has. Like I saw a screenshot of like people playing a 5-man squad, and they had like Zeri, Zoe, Gwen, and there was like 2 other characters. It's just like all like the exact same like young anime colored hair Disney girl. She definitely fits into that. And
yeah, for sure.
I do wish that maybe they went the like more doll aesthetic. In her like design diaries, there was like a bunch of things about like her actually being like a doll design and stuff like that, and that would have been pretty fucking cool. That being said, her actual kit and her weapon are one of the coolest of the game. I fucking love the scissors. I love the idea of stacking it up to get like bigger Qs and stuff.
Yeah,
she's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I think so as well. I would agree that I wish they leaned more into the like the doll come to life aesthetic versus the like Disney, anime girl that she currently is. But that being said, I do think the character design is pretty good. I don't think it's bad. It's just a little not refreshing for the characters that we currently have.
Yeah, the actual her actual kit though, like I'm surprised at how the W doesn't feel awful to play.
I think at times it really, really does. But it has a tremendously long cooldown. I think it's really cool that she gets to move once with it, like out of it, and it'll follow her. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is another character, sort of like Rell, where she felt terrible to play on release. And I think that was before a hot fix buff, if I'm not mistaken. But then people figured out like, oh, you can cast Q like during the E, or E during your Q, I guess would be the right way to say it.
Yeah.
And you can do things like that, which make the character feel a lot better. And yeah, I think she's like again a very well designed character, one that I haven't played a ton of, but if her pick rate is any indication, she's one of those characters that's going to have a high pick rate because she feels really smooth to play.
Yeah, no, she's fucking great. I also think she's a character that like is actually relatively high skill, floor and ceiling. Like maybe floor is like a little bit lower, but ceiling's pretty high for the most part. Like interweaving like your autos to get your ults off, or like figuring out if you can actually go for 4 autos so you can get big Qs off and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything about her kit just flows together. That's the biggest thing about this series that we found out about, is that like a lot of the old characters feel like they have their kit designed around an ability, and then the rest of the kit just kind of is related but not really, whereas every new character is either a kit that's completely like in line with itself, or they still have that like really strong ability but everything else like is built around to support that, rather than just being strong ability plus other shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Viego is probably the best example of that. Like everything is built around his possession, passive. Yeah. He's got things to get people low, things to execute when people are low. He's got a little bit of mobility. He's got, the ability to quickly move across the map. And it all, culminates in his ability to kill someone and then possess and get the chain going, which is, is a really good example of what you're saying.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Gwen? She's one of my favorite characters this season, but I don't think there's like too much to talk about. Like once again, better designed characters always have less to talk about, I think. The next character I have a lot to say about though.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
So the next character is Akshan, who I haven't played a ton of. I've played a bit of, just a little bit. I've dabbled. I've played a lot with people who have played a lot of him though. And he is my favorite character design out of all 4 characters. Like he's number 1 on the list. But I think his kit is the worst designed out of the 4 this year.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it doesn't really flow together. He has the Silas effect, where when Silas for like a long time his best ability is E, like damage wise, and why the fuck is a character's dash like their best damage ability? I feel like he has that same thing with his grappling hook. I think it's cool as fuck that he has a grappling hook. I think it's cool as fuck that it resets. Why the fuck is it his best damage ability? Like it's so fucking strange to me. It feels like so poorly designed in my opinion. And I also think the rest of the kit just doesn't flow together. He has the auto attack passive, which is a cool idea. Like everything individually is cool. The boomerang that extends, the auto attack passive that you can either double auto for movement speed. Sorry, you can cancel auto for movement speed or double auto for the what does he get when double auto?
For damage. Just damage. Yeah.
the stealth idea, the fucking revive idea, the ultimate lock-on charge that can be blocked by everything. Like, all those individually are fucking cool ideas, but it feels like none of them really flow together. And it feels like they just had this idea for a character and they needed to get it out probably for the Ruination event.
Interesting. I don't know if I disagree, but I also don't know if I agree. I think like, yeah, I think from a like on paper standpoint, yeah, it doesn't seem like everything flows together. But I think if you like have a chance to play a lot of Akshan, it actually feels really, really good. How everything flows together pretty nicely. I think the Q just exists for wave clear. W exists for, again, moving around the map. His E is definitely where a lot of his power lies. And I think it's actually like one of the more iconic abilities in League, even though it's only been out for a little bit. But it's just like so tied in with that character that, maybe it should be his big damage, big mobility, like button. He's dashing around and shooting everything, and then he finishes it off with a really long charged up snipe that very Caitlyn-esque is a good balanced ability because of the counterplay that comes with it.
I guess, like, yeah, you saying that, I guess the one thing is, like, if his E wasn't his damage ability, his damage would be somewhere else on his kit, and then you would just have a strong mobility ability, which I guess like puts in the same thing. The reality is I played way more against him.
Just real quick, I think the character that you're describing where his damage comes from other things, then he's just ranged Camille.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think you're completely right.
Yeah.
I definitely have played more against him, and he's a relatively frustrating character to play against.
For sure.
And I think a lot of that could be like altered though. I think the biggest thing is his W. When his W is coming out, everyone's like, "Holy fuck! Why are they giving him a revive mechanic?" Right? It's insane. They're giving him a revive mechanic. The strong part about his W is the fact that he can perma stealth in lane, threaten roams, but also just sit in lane. Then if you go to check, he kills you.
Yeah.
That's the issue. He shouldn't. I don't think he should be able to perma stealth like on walls.
I think he should. I think he should be able to at max rank.
Yeah, that would be actually like a fine way of doing it. Like you could even have like a timer, like where it's a certain amount of time on each wall that you could stay on or something. Like just, I feel like the only issue is that when he's played top or mid, he can just, if he gets ahead at all, he threatens roams permanently on the map, kind of like a Fed Twitch bottom lane, except that he can just stealth in lane permanently until you go check, and then he kills you immediately. Like, and
yeah, for sure.
It feels like there's no good counterplay to that, and it feels like an unintended mechanic that they probably didn't incur during playtesting. But it feels pretty rough. That's like definitely my biggest gripe with the character, just because it's almost like uncounterable as a mechanic.
Yeah, I agree. I think the character is, that's a very frustrating part of it. And maybe it is one of those things where if you stay stationary, or if you stay near a wall like one too many times, like, or too long, maybe that's the way to counter it.
And it's not as bad late game. Like late game, like sure, like he can be anywhere, but you also have to play like he's anywhere. It's more the fact that like if you don't follow his roam, he's going to kill your bottom lane. But if you do follow his roam and he's there, it's just you're flipping a coin on if he actually went or not. And the coin is definitely weighted in his favor, I would say, a lot of the time.
Oh, he has a tremendous amount of damage. I almost wish that I think this would fucking make the character so much worse to play, but maybe it makes him more balanced. I think like his second shot should not apply on hit effects, or at least not apply it as free, like as potently.
He does abuse Wit's End really hard.
Yeah, I mean Wit's End, like Kraken, if you feel comfortable going for it, is really powerful. I know I'm a fan of watching Drew Toot and his content, and he goes Kraken every single game on Akshan. Feels incredibly strong. You can proc it 1 billion times with your passive and your E. So yeah, maybe there needs to be some like reduced potential with on hit effects. But I mean, I feel like I'm in line with you. I think his character design, like from an art perspective, is really, really good. But I also think his kit like kind of works well with each other. I think it's good.
I mean, I like it at the end of the day. Like, don't get me wrong. I think he's a good addition to the game. I definitely don't disagree with that. It's just I think there's aspects of him that make him more frustrating. Like, my favorite thing that I've had with League this year is watching like someone like Trevor play Akshan, and they go for a dumb fucking E, swing their way in and kill themselves, and you just yell Akshan gaming. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think he's a fantastic character.
For sure. Do we want to talk about Vex and then end?
Yeah, I would like to.
What do you think about it?
I think right now she kind of just feels like another 100-0 burst mage, which maybe is intentional. You know, maybe that's fine. It's not the biggest thing in the world to have more of those characters. But I really like. So she was really leaned heavily on to be the like anti-mobility mage, right? That she was supposed to be, don't pick mobility into her, or like she's really, really strong into it. And then she kind of just, she's good against mobility, like don't get me wrong. But I almost wish she were even stronger with it. I like maybe when her passive is up, it will automatically, like almost Poppy ult-esque, it will automatically like cancel a dash and like fear them instead.
Yeah.
But
what if like her little shadow arms fucking grabbed someone and pulled them back when they like dashed? Like,
oh,
like, didn't pull them all the way back,
cool.
but like pulled them like halfway back or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool addition.
Probably miserable to play against, but
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just something to be like, oh, okay, she is very like anti-mobility.
It is interesting because I think she's one of the most interesting, like artillery mages in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's an artillery engage mage. It's kind of like a weird mix.
Yeah.
But like I think she's really interesting in that regard. But yeah, when it comes to what she was designed as, it's not even close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. She is much closer to a just a 100-0 burst mage than anti mobility.
Yeah, it's completely fucking different.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder where, like, I guess like, fuck, she's the character that they redesigned a couple times, right? Like she was supposed to be released like a lot earlier, but they got pushed back.
I think so.
I think they referenced it and like they wanted to hit 6 characters, but they had to redesign Vex or something. Because, fuck, I can't remember what the original vision for her was, but maybe it was just more denial before, and they like couldn't fit in her kit.
Maybe I can't really remember.
Yeah, I can't either. It's somewhere in there, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of wish that she was more anti-mobility than entirely burst mage. But that being said, I think the rest of like her abilities feel, you know, really, really good to use in combination with one another. And I think like she does flow smoothly from a gameplay perspective. Mm-hmm. It's just like, is that gameplay what she was supposed to be, you know?
Yeah, it feels like they told us what she's supposed to be, and that's the only thing that's fucking up her perception, because she's not that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if they just didn't tell us anything, it'd be like, oh yeah, it's fine. She's designed the way she's supposed to be. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess I don't have too much to say about her. I haven't played like any Vex other than ARAM. She's not really my playstyle at all.
Yeah.
I haven't ever been too frustrated by her comparatively to others.
I've played a smidge of her, and she really just kind of plays like another insta burst mage. I don't think she has anything particularly like special about her, you know, aside from the fact that maybe she is the champion that she's one of the few champions where all of her abilities are AoE, I believe. Every single ability she has does AoE damage. So I'm not sure if she's really like unique in that sense, but that's all right.
Yeah, I don't think like unique is like super needed for the game.
Yeah.
We haven't had like an artillery type mage in like a long time, and she's a interesting take on it because she kind of launches herself in rather than just like sitting back.
Yeah, like a melee artillery mage.
Yeah, it's a fucking great take on a character. But I don't know. I think she's interesting. I think all the characters this year were like good though.
Yeah, I would agree. I think all of them came out really well. I'm excited to see what Riot is doing in the future.
We have a couple like ideas of what's coming up. We know there's going to be a Void character this year. We already had Zeri, who I actually think Zeri is a great character design.
I think so too. Very very well designed.
And then we had leaks, spoilers, people, for the new support character, who's there's like she's in the new TFT set, so her name's been leaked in one of her abilities and stuff.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Do you mind sharing?
I can find it. Yeah, let me find it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all right. If you didn't have it at the top of your head, we can talk about it on the show next week.
It's her name's Renata.
Ooh.
And her ability in TFT, where is it on here? Shit. She looks cool as fuck though. Let me just like share this with you really quick. Just her like picture. I'm sure people can just Google and find this like if they want.
Yeah.
She looks cool as fuck though. Open
Let's
image.
see.
It's just like a little square picture, but
yeah. Ooh, that looks cool.
yeah, she looks like kind of like from Arcane. Like she has like a mask and she has like definitely like kind of pink like purple like pink purpley like shimmer type vibe to her.
Yeah. Cool.
She looks cool. I'm
cool
super
character.
excited. Hopefully we'll get new characters that are awesome this year.
I hope so.
Anyways, that is our final episode of ZED Talks. We'll talk to you guys next year about the 2022 characters, but join us next month when Nick hosts a special little episode.
Yeah, so I'm going to task these guys with coming up with a certain type of character, and I'll come up with my own type of character, and we'll compare and talk about that. So we're going to do a little, we fixed all these characters, now we're going to make our own.
Yeah, exactly. We're experts. So.
Definitely.
Cool. Thank you guys for listening. See you guys later. Bye.
Hell yeah. Bye.